Welcome to the PALS Fundamentals News Report for February 12th, 2025.
Yeah.
You can find more videos like this on our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
The sources for everything we'll cover today are linked below.
Okay.
We're going to be starting with international news.
Sounds good.
Then we'll move on to local news from the Faroe Islands, and we'll wrap up with a detailed weather report.
Okay.
So let's get started with the ongoing conflict in Ukraine.
Okay.
The U.S. Secretary of Defense has stated that Ukraine can't return to its pre-2014 borders, and they also won't be offered NATO membership.
This statement was made during a recent meeting of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group.
Oh.
The U.S. is looking for a swift resolution to the war,
Right.
even if it means that Ukraine has to make some compromises. The Secretary of Defense called for a realistic assessment of the battlefield
I see.
and suggested that European and non-European units could provide security instead of NATO membership.
Okay, so the U.S. is still saying no to actually putting boots on the ground.
That's right. The U.S. has reaffirmed that they will not be deploying troops to Ukraine.
Okay. And shifting gears now to some news about Greenland.
Okay.
There's a proposal from a U.S. congressman to buy Greenland
Wow.
and rename it Red, White, and Blue Land.
Interesting. This proposal has been officially submitted to the U.S. House of Representatives.
Okay.
We don't know how much support it has yet, but, this isn't the first time that a U.S. president has expressed interest in buying Greenland.
Oh, really?
Donald Trump brought it up back in 2019.
Both the Prime Minister of Greenland and the Prime Minister of Denmark have rejected the idea.
Yeah, they're not interested.
Okay, so in other news, there's going to be a U.S. Senate hearing that will be examining Greenland's geopolitical importance and the U.S. interest in the island.
Right. It's expected that this hearing will highlight Greenland's natural resources as potential assets for U.S. supply chains and industries.
Makes sense. And shifting focus now to Finland and their air policing mission in Iceland.
Sure.
The Finnish Air Force is currently in Iceland conducting air policing for NATO. This is the first time they've taken on this role,
Right.
marking a significant development since Finland joined NATO in 2023.
The mission involves 4 FA-18 Hornet fighter jets.
Wow.
And a crew of 50 personnel. They'll be stationed at Keflavik Airport until the end of February.
Okay, now let's take a look at the reactions in Greenland following a recent documentary about the cryolite mine in Ivitut.
Right.
The documentary titled Greenland's White Gold aired on DR, the Danish Broadcasting Corporation.
Okay.
And it explored the mine's historical significance, its impact on the Danish economy, and how it affected the local Greenlandic people.
After the documentary aired, many Greenlanders shared their feelings of sadness, surprise, and anger,
Yeah.
learning about the profits that Denmark made from the mine.
Yeah, it sounds like it was pretty impactful for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Some expressed a desire for greater control over Greenland's resources and more, let's say, in decision-making regarding future mining projects.
Right. This brings us to the political party Inuit Ataqatigiit in Greenland.
Okay.
They believe that new mining projects are crucial for the country's economic growth and the green transition.
So they're advocating for a balance between mining and environmental concerns, really emphasizing the need for high environmental standards.
Exactly. Future mining projects are expected to be situated far from settlements to minimize their impact.
That makes sense.
The party acknowledges the potential environmental impact of mining, and they're aiming to mitigate it through stricter regulations and more sustainable practices.
Okay. And are they doing anything to make sure that future generations will benefit from these mining projects?
Yes, they're highlighting the importance of getting input from stakeholders and ensuring benefits for future generations.
Okay. So Greenland is also introducing a new patient complaint system.
That's right.
That goes into effect on February 14th.
This new law allows patients to file complaints or seek compensation for unsatisfactory treatment they've received in the healthcare system.
So before this change, complaints could only be filed against individual healthcare workers for making a specific error.
Right. Now, with this new law, patients can file complaints about an entire treatment process regardless of whether a specific individual made a mistake.
Oh, so that's a big change.
Yeah, it is. You can submit complaints online through the solicivic.gl platform.
Okay, so we've also got some news about a shift in the political landscape in Greenland. Kuno Fenker, a prominent figure, recently left the Siamet party and joined Nalarak.
He cited political and moral reasons for leaving,
Okay,
including pressure from his local party branch.
I see.
and a sense that Siemot was aligning too closely with the Inuit Ataqatigiit party.
Okay.
Fenker has said that he finds complete support for his values and vision for Greenland within the Nalaraq party.
Interesting. Fenker's fiancée, Aki Matilda Hodam, also recently joined Nalaraq.
Yeah.
And Fenker mentioned that he believes Nalaraq's approach to Greenland's independence resonates with his own thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's move on to news from the Faroe Islands.
Okay.
There have been a couple of recent convictions related to hate speech.
2 men were found guilty in a Faroe Islands court for violating Article 266B of the Penal Code, which addresses hate speech.
One man was fined for a letter to the editor published on Vaga Portalinum. In this letter, he stated that homosexuals have a severe degree of mental illness and shouldn't be allowed to care for children.
And the other man was fined for making derogatory statements about a gay television personality on his Facebook page.
So were there any other consequences besides the fines?
Both men were ordered to pay 10 daily fines of 500 DKK each.
Okay. There have also been discussions surrounding the Faroe Islands security in the context of rising tensions in Europe.
Right. A new risk assessment from the Danish Defense Intelligence Service suggests an increased risk of military conflict in Europe within the next 5 years.
Okay.
Despite this heightened risk, the report indicates that the Faroe Islands are unlikely to be directly targeted.
Because of their strategic importance to the U.S.
Exactly. The Faroe Islands play a significant role in U.S. defense.
Right.
And the U.S. is expected to protect them even if they choose not to actively engage in a European conflict.
Okay, so this situation parallels the security dynamics of World War II, where the UK and the US had a vested interest in defending the Faroe Islands. Okay, now let's discuss sustainable fishing practices.
Okay.
Dennis Holm, the Minister of Fisheries in the Faroe Islands, has defended the government's focus on sustainable fishing practices over overfishing.
He highlighted agreements reached with Norway and the UK
Okay.
regarding mackerel and North Sea herring quotas. These agreements ensure a more sustainable and responsible approach to fishing. They grant Faroes vessels access to fishing grounds in British and Norwegian waters,
I see.
allowing them to prioritize catching high-quality fish for human consumption and get better prices.
So Holm emphasized that sustainable fishing is essential for the long-term viability of the Faroes fishing industry.
Right.
Okay. Shifting gears to digitalization efforts in the Faroe Islands.
Sure.
The Faroes ICT Association, known as KT Filage, has stressed the importance of using local providers for the ongoing digitalization of Faroe society.
They argue that local providers can better tailor digital solutions to the specific needs of the Faroes community.
Right. They're also advocating for the release of the personal identification number called the P number for use by private companies.
They believe this would simplify registration processes and facilitate smoother business operations.
Okay. And do they have any other recommendations for how this digitalization initiative should be implemented?
Additionally, they recommend setting up a user council to provide input and guidance on how the Digital Faroe Islands 2.0 initiative is implemented.
Okay. And in media news, Schibsted Media, a Norwegian media group that owns various Nordic media outlets, has partnered with OpenAI to integrate its news articles into the ChatGPT AI system.
This strategic partnership aims to provide ChatGPT users with up-to-date information from the Nordic region.
So the agreement allows selected articles and content from Schibsted Media to be incorporated into OpenAI services in real time. Articles will be used to offer users a current news overview, always with clear source attribution.
Right. Schibsted Media sees this collaboration as a way to adapt to the evolving media landscape and ensure the reach and relevance of quality journalism in an AI-driven future.
Okay. We also have some news from the Faroes Maritime Rescue Coordination Center.
2 small boats recently experienced engine trouble and needed assistance.
One boat was located 8 nautical miles north of Kunnarnaki and was towed to Klaksvik by the rescue vessel Ziska.
Right. The other boat was located north of the Faroe Islands and was towed to Ivy by the rescue vessel Von.
Okay. And there's also a new podcast featuring individuals from the Faroe Islands, Greenland, and Denmark, which explores the current state of the Kingdom of Denmark.
Now let's wrap up with the weather forecast.
Okay.
Starting with the Faroe Islands. Until Thursday morning, expect fresh to strong easterly winds, partly cloudy skies with a chance of showers. Temperatures will be between 3 and 7 degrees Celsius.
Okay. On Thursday, we'll see light to fresh easterly winds, increasing to fresh to strong easterly winds later in the day. There will be variable cloud cover with occasional showers. Temperatures will remain between 3 and 7 degrees Celsius.
Friday brings fresh to strong easterly winds, overcast conditions, and occasional showers. Temperatures will be slightly cooler, ranging from 2 to 6 degrees Celsius. Saturday's forecast calls for fresh to strong easterly winds, overcast skies, and a chance of rain or sleet showers. Temperatures will be between 1 and 6 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
Sunday will bring fresh to strong easterly and southeasterly winds.
Okay.
With overcast or variable cloud cover and some rain or sleet showers, temperatures will stay between 1 and 6 degrees Celsius.
Okay, what about Monday?
Monday's forecast is for fresh to strong southeasterly winds with overcast or variable cloud cover and a chance of rain or sleet showers. Temperatures will again be between 1 and 6 degrees Celsius.
Now for the marine forecast.
There's a gale warning in effect for Ytri and Islandsryggen, with southeasterly and easterly winds of 10 to 15 meters per second, decreasing to under 10 meters per second overnight. Visibility will be good.
Okay.
Munkagrin will have southeasterly and easterly winds of 7 to 12 meters per second with good visibility.
Okay.
And lastly, Fugale will have easterly winds of 6 to 11 meters per second, also with good visibility.
Okay, so that's it for the weather.
That brings us to the end of our news report for today.
Be sure to check out the PALS Fundamentals YouTube channel for more content like this.
And remember, you can find the links to all the sources we talked about down below.
Thanks for joining us today.